Hi, I'm Kathy Guy with Granger Community Church. I'm the Director of Community, and I am thrilled to be here to talk with you about some roles that we all play in life. Each of us have these three roles that we play: a parent role, a child role, and an adult role. And for most of us, we just occasionally have had some conflicts in our relationships, and that normally comes when emotionally we are playing in the parent role or the child role. Even though most of us are adults, I know I can tend to slip out of it pretty easily and don't often act out of that adult role as often as I'd like to. What this looks like, what the parent role looks like, think of your normal parent. It's someone who's often very nurturing, very caring. They're going to take care of all your problems for you. On the other side, I think most of us know that parents can get a little snippy, and they might be demanding and authoritative, and you're going to do it my way or the highway. Now, that's what the typical parent role can look like, but this isn't black and white. That's just to give you a general feel of what it would look like. The other side is the child role, and the child role can be very needy. It can be very pleasing. Sometimes the child role can be darn right rebellious. I'm not doing it and you can't make me, and I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. And that's how it looks. The best example I can give of this is if you have ever been in a customer service situation. So for me, when I was in college, I used to work as a teller at the bank. And that was back before online banking and all that really cool stuff. So this is the old days when people had to go to the bank to actually talk to a teller. So the customer would walk in, and this is the typical child role. My account's overdrawn. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? The child role is always looking for a parent role to balance them. And so they're going to be most happy when they find a teller who'll step into the parent role and will say, oh, you give me all that stuff. I'm going to get you taken care of. You just don't worry. And at that moment, the customer, they feel such relief. Thank you. Now that also can happen if they hit a teller who's in the parent role and she's not having a good day. And she may be the authoritative parent and be saying things like, well, don't you know you're supposed to balance your checkbook every month? We can't be doing this for you all the time. Give it here. I'll take care of it for you. And immediately that customer is still fine. They're like, I know, I've been a bad girl. They're still fine. But when you start having conflict is when one party gets sick of the role they're playing, or when one party starts feeling a little bit disrespected. The other thing is they always want someone to play the game. So the teller might walk up and, let's say the teller's in the child role and says, I've only been here a week. They didn't train me on this. I don't know what to do. You will immediately see that customer shift to the parent role. And the customer will go, well, isn't there anyone around here who, get a manager. There's got to be a manager around here. And all of a sudden they're back into balance because they found their fit. How this works out in our relationships is this way. All of us have some roles that we learned for quite a while, and we know these roles very well. If you think of any modern day sitcom or reruns that you watch of Seinfeld or Friends, you know those characters. They know their part. You know exactly what they're going to do in certain situations. That's what this is about. We put on these roles of parent or child, and we know them very well. And here's the problem. Adult relationships don't work without people in adult roles with their emotions. So that's the big challenge that we have. When you have these two parts, it's a power struggle. You've often seen couples or friends or a boss coworker or your coworkers where you're in power struggles and you don't know what to do. Well, the solution is always to step into the adult role. Once you start recognizing what's going on, then it's about step into the adult role. What that does, when you step into the adult role, it throws everything off. The person that's used to your reactions, they know their part pretty well, they don't know what to do. Go back to our example at the bank. If a teller walks up to the window and they're in their adult role, and they simply say, oh, I'm so sorry you're having a problem. Yeah, we don't do that here at this window. If you go over to one of our managers, they may be able to help you. That customer doesn't quite know what to do. They're thrown off balance a little bit, and you'll generally get a, no, okay. Because they They weren't able to find anyone to balance them or criticize them or take care of them. They don't know the part. I often equate it to dancing. I love dance, my husband hates to dance, but if we are doing, let's go fun, waltz. If we have waltzing music on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and someone changes the beat to a hip hop tune, and only one of us can dance to hip hop, well then it's going to look incredibly awkward. We're going to be thrown off balance. And if I'm the only one who hears the hip hop beat and my husband doesn't get it, we're going to look like a couple dorks and we'll just look foolish out there. But that's what can happen. It feels incredibly uncomfortable when your relationships, when one person starts stepping into the adult role, but that's okay. That means change is happening. That means change is happening. The adult role, what that looks like, we haven't really talked about that. Many are like, well, what does it look like to be an adult emotionally? We don't play those roles very often. The adult role requires treating others respectfully. That's basically it. It's common golden rule kind of stuff. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. And so the adult role communicates feelings and desires. The adult role says, hey, you know what, when you did that, that really made me feel unloved. That really made me feel uncomfortable. And I know that opens up a whole nother can of worms on how do we communicate feelings and how do we get comfortable at it. But the most important thing is to really look at your relationships to see that mutual respect is happening between two adults. And when there's a power struggle, when you see these roles at play, step out of the role, get into an adult role, and just calm everything down. That's what you need to know about parent-child roles.